Hi guys, and welcome back to another texture pack update video. So we've got loads and loads added into the pack, and it was kind of time to get all of this out so I can start fresh and just give you kind of other additions. I think it's about 5 days since the last update, and there really has been a lot added. One of the major ones is this kind of texture we got here, this kind of bordered texture. I'll just lay down some blocks, and you will need Optifine, McPatcher, or one of those type of things to actually do this, and also actually see these kind of extended ones. And you also need something like World Edit to get to them, but I'm just going to use a stick to replace, and it's 4:4. If I just show that to you guys again, there we go. So it should be like that, 4:4. That's this one, and this will just kind of be this cross pattern, which has a border on it, which is quite nice. So you can then border stuff, or you can just make a big grid. It isn't perfect. I need to kind of edit tiny little bits of it. I think there's literally 2 pixels I need to add in into the actual pack itself. So if we just get rid of all this rubbish. So that's the kind of first one that's been added. We've also added in tall grass, ferns, rosebush, peony, and lilac. Those have all been now added in there as these kind of taller grass type things. If I actually go around here, there you go, you can see a bit better. So we've got those there. We've also got an end portal. I've actually turned this into a big flower pot. I've seen this been done before. It looks really cool. So if you just put down an end portal, you grab an ender eye. Where the hell is it? Ender eye. There we go. Ender eye. Shove that in there. It gives you this dirt thing. Then you can put a fence and you know, a couple of leaves on it, and you got yourself kind of like a little, well, big flower pot in a way. So I've got that. I've changed the dirt texture as well. Still not happy with it. I think one of my updates is literally just going to take me like 2 weeks to get grass and dirt done. It's really difficult. It's the most difficult thing I've ever done texture-wise. Also, stone slabs have now been kind of changed. We've actually got this kind of the border on it I wasn't really happy with. I've added in some shading. I think it looks pretty good. I think it works really well. So yeah, we've now got that. I'm pretty happy with it. The block texture here, I'll probably put a line going across here, so this side texture is actually slightly different. I did try some bricks with this. It didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. So I think quite simple. But I think what we'll have is we'll have like two sections. I think you've seen that before. But yeah, we've got that there. So that's quite a nice addition. The Nether brick now, that has been extended. So we've now got kind of variation blocks on that. There's now 16 of those, so that applies to obviously the Nether brick stairs, Nether brick slabs, and Nether brick fence itself. So we've got all of those in this kind of nice. It's kind of like a really dark. I don't know what you would call it, but I think it's one of my kind of best textures. I think it's one of the best textures in this pack, even though it's dark. But we have got that there. Now, if we go through the cobwebs. So I've got a cobweb, basic texture for cobweb. It's basically barbed wire. I think it works really well. Obviously, when you try to walk through it, you get stuck. That kind of works. This was a real nightmare to do because, for some reason, the kind of default cobweb texture doesn't really like colours. It doesn't like, I don't know, it doesn't like a lot of things. So it came out, I kind of had to mess around with it. It came out white. This was the actual colour it was supposed to be. It's kind of silvery, but for some reason it just came out like that. Also, when I found kind of putting it across these parts, if I just get rid of these, it didn't quite look right. The actual, I don't know, something about it just didn't look right. If we actually kind of try to get an angle, there we go. I don't know. So what I ended up doing, and again, I've got my kind of replacer tool. I ended up putting into one of the metadators on iron bars, 1014, and this was used before as a kind of fancier texture, but because we switched that into the glass, I actually took it out and switched it out for this one. So I've actually put in it as iron bars here, and you'll notice also the top texture of the iron bars has kind of gone. It was really annoying me. All I had to do to get rid of that is give the blank one, and you can see here it's just a blank texture. Basically, it was taking something from the bottom, the kind of the default texture of it, and shoving it up top somehow, and it was looking really weird in all of my iron bars, and it really annoyed me. So I just took that out completely. So yeah, let's go through some of the metadators that I've added into the cobwebs. So we've got cobweb, which is 30:0. Then we have 30:1, which is a bottle. 30:2 is empty, 30:3 is a bird, 30:4 is butterflies, 30:5 is an explosion, 30:6 is rope, 30:7 is an iron chain, 30:8 is a hook which will work with both iron chain and everything like that, and 30:9 is this bin bag, which hasn't turned out quite like I wanted to, but it will be some sort of trash that you can use in your cities and things like that. This hook is quite useful, as you can see here, and I'll go through kind of some of the uses in just a second. But I am planning on doing lots and lots of different little things with the cobwebs, because they're actually really, really useful. So we also have over here, we have a bookshelf texture now. Pretty cool. Also behind here, we have 5:13, which again you have to do, but when you do kind of place it once, you can actually place it down. This will give you a kind of trash can. Pretty cool. And it kind of works quite nicely as well. I've made it so it tiles, so that if you do have, if we just grab our stone slabs here, and this is what I've had to do in my city. If you do have your kind of roads, and then you have your slab up here, I made sure that it tiles kind of in a certain way, that when you put it into the ground, you know, this doesn't look right, but you can do this, and it doesn't look bad at all. So it looks like it's got two stripes, and you can still see the top bit. But we've got a couple of variation blocks in there. I don't know why I made such a big, large slab area. We've got a couple of variations in the actual textures themselves. Not crazy amount of them, but we have got a couple of them just to show you guys kind of what it can do. So we have that in the pack. We also have a sideways fridge kind of storage section, I guess. So I've got my doors here. The door texture will 100% change. This is one of my early textures, and you can see that it's an early texture. Very, very basic, but that's just kind of an example. Again, these have got kind of 4 randomized blocks. It does happen on all sides, but the top and bottom textures are kind of normal, and it's all bordered. So you can use that in like supermarkets or as a fridge, something like that, as long as you hide the side, I guess. And if you use the fridge, I'd use the iron door, even though I haven't got a texture for it yet. And that one was 5:6. I forgot to mention that. 5:6 for that one. Then you got 5:7. This is basically just the top, kind of the reverse way. So instead of it being on the sides, this one is just on the top, and it really is as well. You know, it's kind of bordered by every other side, except for the top texture. It is just a copy of this one. These will all change, but it gives you an idea of what's going to be there. So 5:7. Now we get on to the emerald blocks. So I wasn't really happy with it. One guy did say a really awesome suggestion to use it as swimming pool tiles, and that's what I did. I came up with this kind of cool tiling thing. I added in a load of kind of different coloration on each tile as well, which worked really nicely, and a couple of blobs and stuff. So that's your kind of swimming pool default one. I know it's not green, but if you forget that it's kind of like the block names, and we're just using them as, you know, blocks that we can use. So we've got that as 1330, or just your default block of emerald. Then I added a variation 1331, which will give you this other tile. Oh, not that one. Obviously you have to do it with World Edit or something like that. 1331 will give you this type, and then we have 1332, which will give you a kind of I decided to put in a couple more tiles, and I might just use the block of emerald block and metadatas as tiling, just general tiling. I think that might work quite well. So we've got 1332, which is this one here, 1333, which is this one here. I think that's almost it for all of the new blocks. We have also got, we've got loads and loads of cobblestone wool and fences, as you can see here. But I'll go through that in a second, I think. I've actually got all the metadatas written, well, not written down, but all the way over there. It's just easier to do it that way than I remember as well. Rope texture. We do have a rope texture now. This is not perfect at all, but it's a start, and it's going to be in this place. So what this is an iron bar, and I tried this in fence and glass panes that I had. It didn't work. Had to use the iron bars, so I've got in here, if we just change this, if you do 101 and 6, that's the one for all this. So we've got this kind of rope texture. The texture itself will change. It'll be edited, it'll be nicer. At the minute it doesn't tile. As you can see here, you can kind of see the line going across. But it will work. So that's what it's going to be used for. You can, you know, tie stuff off, obviously. Quite cool. And now for the example type things, I guess, before we get onto the fences and all that kind of stuff that was added. I have a small crane here, so this is using the rope kind of cobweb, and then we've also got the hook, and you can kind of see how it connects in. What I will be doing with the actual cobwebs is the rope will probably have knots in it and stuff like that, kind of like Conquest. I think that'd work really well. Kind of variation into it. Possibly the end piece will actually have something on it that'll make it look like it connects into this block. That'd be quite nice. We also have the iron bars being shown here with these extra textures, which I'll go into in a second. Just to kind of hold on to this part, I did make an extra fence gate kind of metadata. They work really weird and they reset after you use them. So as soon as you do that, it'll reset to the one here, the wooden one. So there is an iron bar type one in there, but it doesn't quite work the way that I wanted it to. But we do have a swing. Very nice. There we go. Nice little swing there using the iron bars. So let's just go over here, and oh, we almost forgot about these. So before I was using the same texture that Jag Thunder 1 has in his actual texture pack Minecraft for Kids, and the texture was kind of created by Affinity Forever. So they kind of let me use it in an early release of the pack until I kind of got my own, and I now have my own. Again, it's not kind of perfect, but it does tile really, really, really nicely in every direction. So if I just make a 4x4 floating square, I'll show you what I mean. There we go. So this is the kind of hazard stripe, and this is a sponge texture. All of the sponge ones are going to be hazards, as you can see here. So we have this kind of one here, and then it kind of tiles around, and every single side, as you can see, it kind of tiles into each other, or into itself. So you've got this kind of good thing here, goes across there, every single side, which is really, really nice. So that's that one, and that is 19, and then you've got 19 and 1 for red and white, 19 and 2 for red and blue, not red and blue, white and blue, and 19 and 3. So 19:3 for the orange and white one. Let's fly over here now anyway. We'll have a look at what we got. There was also a couple of minor changes, nothing major. Just the kind of, I'm working my way slowly through all of these wool textures and making them connected, big connected like these ones. As you can see, this one's kind of like the default one. This one's kind of like the more used one. So I've done the orange wool. I think it's a little bit too orange, I guess. I don't know. But you can see that I've still got loads to do in that. It's just time for those. So if we fly over here, and you can see the metadatas for the iron bars now. Somebody did ask about a link chain. I've got loads, honestly. The default one is a link chain. We've got another lighter variant, and we've got a kind of bigger variant. So we've got lots of those. Actually, I think I might have taken out the wrong texture, possibly. I need to have a play around with this again and have a look. But you can see that we've got that one in there now, and also the rope one in there. So let's go through all of these that we've got up here, and actually you can see the emerald ones here, kind of texturing and how they flow. This one's really nice, ridiculously nice, quite modern, awesome. So let's make our way through these. Okay, so you have your default texture, which is 139:0. That's your kind of cobblestone, like kind of road texture, kind of dark grey. 1391 is the mossy cobblestone, and I'll talk about that at the end of the video as well as what's coming up. We have 1392, which is this light iron texture which you saw all the way down there. 1393, which is a marble variant. 1394, which is the spruce wood. 1395, which is this dark metal kind of texture. We then have 1396, which is a nether brick texture. 1397, which is your hazard yellow and black stripes. 1398, which is your red and white ones. 1399, which is a birch variant. 13910, which is the stone brick variant of that. And actually, this one looks really, really cool, because it almost makes it look like these blocks here have actually been pushed back, because they actually have. Really cool. It makes it, I don't know, it worked really well, or almost really well. There's some little bits that aren't perfect, but when you do get like a block like that one, which is darker, works really nicely with the textures. And we also have 13911, which is your sandstone variant. This one turned out really well. depending on where you place it, because you're going to get this bottom layer here. And then if you're actually going up, it just looks cool. I don't know. I really like the sandstone texture in general. It just kind of works. Just works. So we've got that. So yeah, let's go through the fences. There is less fences at the minute. Fences are kind of more difficult to figure out a texture. Like I said, I was trying rope textures and stuff. They kind of work with basic textures more than anything else. Whereas these kind of cobblestone wool will take pretty much anything. Okay, so basic fence is 85:0, which will give you the normal oak one. 85:1, which will give you a light kind of iron or light metal. 85:2 is your marble. 85:3, which is a spruce variant. I really like this one. This one works really nicely. 85:4, which is a red metal type. And then you got 85:5, which is your birch. I think that's pretty much it. Now I'll just talk about what's going to be changing in the future, as well as kind of some of your suggestions, which are definitely going into the pack. And I wasn't able to get into this one, as it was kind of full. It already was full. I kind of get to the point where I have to, you know, just do an update video. The major thing that's going to change, all of these cobblestone kind of extended metadators, they're all going to move. They're actually going to move into an entirely different block. The mossy cobblestone that we have... Oh, actually, I did go through the bin, yeah, never mind. The mossy cobblestone texture that we actually have, well, we don't have anything there. So I'm going to move all of those ones, those extended ones, into the mossy cobblestone. We'll have a load of different types of kind of older style walls. Someone was asking about the kind of Victorian type stuff, those kind of older buildings from like 100 years ago or something like that. I've already got lots of the textures, so you can use a lot of these in those buildings. But they will be moving, so don't use the kind of the 4 5s. If you've already got them, note down the actual number that they are, so that when you can just world edit and then or MC edit all of those, and yeah, that'll be quite good. So that's going to be the major change. Reason being, I've got a million and one ideas for the roads, and I'd like to keep it all in the same block. So you just go through the different variations until you find the kind of road type instead. Otherwise, I'd have to move it to something like another block, which would suck. So yeah, that's pretty much what we got. I am planning on putting in some counters, kind of the same as Conquest does. I'm trying to match them up, kind of. This was wooded log pile. It ended up being this kind of fridge top texture. Don't ask. But you know, like I'm trying to match them up in a certain way, just because it's an awesome texture pack and gives me a lot of ideas. So I can have the counters in these three. These will be kind of like shop counters as well as kitchen counters as well. So we'll have kind of like a black marble type top, maybe with like white kind of cupboards, something like that. It's either that or I'll put that into like crafting tables and stuff. I'm not really too sure as of yet. But that will be coming into the pack. Some of the suggestions that I've been given by you guys, and there is tons. I mean, there really is tons. Some of the kind of major ones on planes, like I did with the ship windows and had the kind of circle. Oh, I got it over here. I'll add a metadata for basically the planes. So we'll have the plane windows, you know, those kind of oval ones. I'll get that to tile in marble. So it will be tiling in marble. But that'll be really cool. That's a really awesome idea. I think that'll make it look a bit more realistic and smooth. So I'm going to add that in. I'm trying to think of what else off the top of my head. If you give me 1 second, I'll grab my notes. So, as a metadata inside the cobwebs, I am planning on adding a camera. Somebody said about it quite a while ago. It's just taken me a while to actually get around to it. And I wanted to kind of figure out the basic ones first, and then see what I've got left. So probably in here. Well, actually, no, we do want the rope hanging one. Bees, we don't really need. Yeah, bees or fish. And these ones like 3011 or 3012. There'll be a camera. As like a security camera. I'm planning on having it with an animation, so it's just moving backwards and forwards quite gently. So you can use those in your cities, or you can use them in security offices, or, you know, those kind of secure places. Also going to have raw foods. Somebody really did mention this, and it was really cool. Where is it? So like your raw foods you have here, package them up. So I thought that was a really awesome idea. Especially if you use item frames, which means to into texture. That'll be awesome. So I'm going to add that in as well as I go through these kind of raw foods. That'll just be a really cool idea. Also, the road lines, well, like I was saying, what we're going to be having is the white stripes, which will kind of wrap around, kind of like these textures have in a way. Create a line which you can use for loads of different stuff like writing and stuff. I'll show you a load of examples of it kind of when I get around to it. So you can have a white stripe, yellow stripe, double yellow line, those kind of stuff. Any other kind of road textures I can kind of do will just be getting extended into here. But that's pretty much it. I mean, there is still loads of stuff I need to go back and do, like, you know, all these ores need to be redone. I just need to go back in there and redo those. I'll still add 16 variants. I just need to redo them. It doesn't, you know, when it cuts off, it doesn't quite work, or when it goes around the block, it doesn't quite work. And I've got ideas in my head of how to do that quite easily. It's just getting around to it, as most things are. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this update. As always, give me a comment of what you want to see, and I'll put it on my list and try and get it done. You know, stuff's getting added to this. It's been like 4 days, or 4 or 5 days, and we've already got pretty large amount of stuff getting added, which is really nice, because it kind of gets it completed a lot faster. But as always, thanks for the support, and I'll see you on the next update video, or normal video if you're watching me on YouTube. Later.